you start? Thank you.
I got it.
Welcome, everybody, to the February 26th School Building Committee meeting of the Pierce School Building. And I'm going to let Andy put up some slides. We'll have time for public comment at the end, but there's not a lot. If people have questions, you can certainly ask them along the way.
Absolutely. So here we are with our February meeting, our typical agenda, construction updates, then we'll go right into budget. If there are any design updates, we can do that, and then right into new business. So I'm going to stop my share and hand this off to Consigli so they can give us an update.
Great.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So here we go for the School Building Committee meeting for the February 26th. So we'll get right into it. So for the last meeting that we had, just structural steel, final detailing in Building B, we hit that milestone of 123.26 over here. So just wanted to make that of note. And then we have our weather tight date on July 2nd, 2026 with certificate of occupancy still on October 29th, 2027. And then we'll hand it over to Josh to go through the rest of these slides and give an update.
Yep. Good afternoon. So overall update, obviously, as you can see, that's a drone shot from the other day of the current status of the building. Obviously been dealing with the weather last month or so, a lot of snow, a lot of cleanup, just dealing with that. Making some adjustments with what we're doing on site. As you can see, we're framing the third floor, Building A right now. So we pushed ahead with our framing, held off on spray fireproofing because we can do that after. It's just a little resequencing of what we saw. We could do that progress as we were dealing with that cold snap. So right now we're framing the west and east elevation. Next week we'll be coming down the north, which is a Harvard Street. Then we'll start infilling the courtyard. We had the spray fireproofer show up today, so he'll start spray fireproofing within the building starting tomorrow and Monday. So that'll pick up, and then we'll chase him with the framing crews, basically level 2, level 1, and then spray the perimeter of the roof. That'll allow us to start our sheathing once we do our spray fireproofing. So we had to resequence some stuff just because of the weather that we've been seeing, but we've been progressing with our framing upstairs. Inside the building, Building A, staying on Building A. We're in the gym right now, working in the small and large gym, doing all of our CMU shear walls. We're about to top off the walls in the small gym, and then we're continuing our exterior walls, perimeter walls, in the large gym. So progress in that. We'll have some photos later on right there, showing the CMU walls. Then down in the garage, crews continue to install all their underground utilities. Right now we're working on the shallow subsurface drainage in Building A, wrapping that up. And we have crews over in Building B wrapping up their drain, storm, and their electrical conduits. So we're looking at roughly 3 more weeks down the garage doing all of our underground. And then it'll be roughly 2-3 weeks of final detailing of grading down there, which drives us towards our binder date, which we're targeting was early spring down there for binder. So that keeps us on track.
Josh, what is binder for those of us who might not know?
That's your first layer of asphalt within that. So you'll have your thicker course down low, it's a binder. And then you'll have a top course, which makes it nice and smooth down there. And that'll be later on in the job. So we're going to do our early course just so all the crews can work off of that. Nice stable surface with scissor lifts. Be more productive down in the garage, and then just safer for all the crews. So that's Building A. Building B, inside the multi-purpose room. Right now we're wrapping up all of our exterior lintels, final setting those to elevation. And then crews are doing their underground electrical right now. We're starting on our perimeter wall. Next week we'll start cutting across the actual multi-purpose room and starting to prep the multi-purpose room for the slab on grade within the multi-purpose room. That's going to be like a 3-part pour in there. And then we'll fall into starting our CMU walls in there. That'll flow the crew basically from the gym over to the multi-purpose room. And then they'll flow right into Building B. Building B, right now we are active, or today we were shoveling all the snow off the roof. We got to go from the roof down to 3 to 2 to 1. Clear all that off. Next week we got the stud shooter coming in to wrap up shooting studs, which just helps with the concrete. That'll be the next step. So we'll wrap up shooting studs in building B, and then release S&F to start putting all their mesh and rebar down and get ready for pours. So we're roughly 3 weeks out, or 2.5 weeks out for a pour right now. Obviously weather permitting, looks like our weather is finally turning into our favor. So that'll help us out greatly on the job. And so that's kind of main building. Over in the historic building, just overview. We're continuing to do our exterior foundation walls, which is a new waterproof and 4-inch wear walls around the historic building. And then also on the back side, we got our first concrete pour, which was the mud mat placed prior to the storm. So that was a great thing to get done prior to the storm that just hit. Right now we have that shoveled off. Crews are back there starting to form up all the footings for the new foundation walls for the addition. That's gonna be like a 6-part pour back there. So they're actively working back there doing the first step. The footings go right into the walls, and then we'll start steel back there. Over at the park, right now we're drilling still, working on 3-1, 4-1, which are on the upper side closest to the apartments right now. And then the crews will be coming right on the other side of the Tannery Brook, basically working 7 and 8 line. So we have 22 wells left to drill, looking to wrap those up at the end of March. And then now when they'll have a good break within the weather, and we'll start going after the excavation of the geothermal vault itself. And then start doing all the branch lines as well, connecting all that, and then start bringing the park back to shape. So that's still on track, looking good over there. Obviously fighting weather, but they're doing good with all their drilling right now. So that's kind of overall schedule where we stand right now within the project. Obviously snow's been the fight, but we're working through it. We flipped through some photos now, just status of it. So this is a view from the corner of School and Harvard Street. That is the north and west elevation of the building. Just Harvard Street, view of Harvard Street.
Steve, you have a question?
Yeah, quick question. Back when you were talking about the geothermal work in the park, did I hear you say something about they're working on the other side of the Tannery Brook?
Correct. Yep.
Is there an underground stream under that park?
Yeah, there's a 60-inch culvert, basically 18 feet down, that runs right through the park.
Holy, I did not know that.
Yeah,
You
it's
did
actually
know
pretty
that.
beautiful.
Was
We've been aware of it, Steve, for a long time. It's been there since the 20s, I think. It's pretty old. We surveyed it to make sure we understood the existing condition, and we have like kind of a no-fly zone as we install around it because we don't, of course, want to disturb it. So, we've been very aware of it. We've been protecting it, monitoring it. But that's
The name also caught my ear because in my career as an architect, I did some work in Peabody. There's a tannery pond and Tannery Brook up there, but there were tanneries in Peabody. Is there a tannery around here that gave the brook its name?
maybe in the 20s.
Oh, geez.
But it's been a while, yeah. But it's it's a brick culvert, and we've been very careful with it for obvious reasons.
Understood. All right. Thanks for the info.
Yep. So that's just current state of the well field. So as you can see up there on the right side of the screen over on that upper bench drilling right now. And then they'll be working down near that smaller excavator, basically shrinking the site tighter and tighter. It's going to be tight down on 7 and 8 line. So continue work over there, and they're down to 1 rig over on that side just because of the constraints on the site.
Yeah, and each of these little things sticking out of the snow is a well. So if you can see all of these jumping out of the snow, those are our wells that we have there. And when we go into this next slide, Josh mentioned that we have actually 58 drilled right now, so we have 22 left to go. So when he was talking about branch lines, it's actually the lines between each of those dots is what we consider the branch lines for for those who would like to know.
Has there been any problems with the drills or drilling?
Now with drilling, nope, we've been drilling right through the winter.
That's
Not,
great to hear.
We have like a delay here and there just because of the weather conditions. 'Cause of
Sure,
routing.
sure. No, I know that. No, I meant with, breaking a drill bit or anything like that.
Nope.
No, I think for the most part, we had one where it's called communication between two wells where the wells essentially almost hit each other. So it's nothing to necessarily be concerned about. They take into account those calculations. But if there was a concern that that well is specifically 100 feet shorter than the other ones, we would put a new well in if we needed to in order to make up that difference as well. So just to keep you aware of that. It's nothing to be nervous about or anything like that. And one of the things we also encountered, just kind of stuff when you start drilling, is a fracture zone. So there's basically a little crack in the earth at about 400 feet down. So other than that, those are all things, nothing major, but
Great,
things to note.
thank you.
All right, next slide. And then this is just a photo of that supplemental steel we did down in Building A for those early conversation on the low concrete. So those are all installed. We'll line up inspection with Andy and left in UTS, and we'll get those just reviewed and close it out. Just part of the process. So those are all installed now, no issues.
Steve, did you have another question?
Oh, sorry, I didn't, I meant to take my hand up, but I do have another question.
Yep.
Sure.
Totally unrelated topic. I just remembered that I got a message from Sergio Modigliani, who's been on many boards about town, including the advisory committee and select board. He asked me, and I didn't know the answer, do you know whether electrical demand side management is part of the Pierce electrical system design? So maybe somewhat out of order from your presentation, but I'll just put that. I don't know if other people were made aware of that, or maybe Carol Levin might have been also queried about that. Anyway, I didn't have an answer for him, so.
I know a little bit about that. I think that's there's a couple ways of doing that if I'm understanding you correctly. It's like load shedding, and it can also be done with batteries.
Well, I know it comes up when you're providing parking areas for large numbers of cars with EV hookups where they can't all be, powered up at the same time. So that's one aspect of it, but I think he's talking about a bigger picture for the entire project.
Hey,
There's
Steve, I can talk a little bit about this. So it's really more of an operations thing because we don't have batteries. Eventually we'll have solar panels on here, but as of now, we don't have solar panels. What we do is if we have brownout conditions or when Eversource says, we're running short on electricity, Charlie will up the temperature in the schools so that they can they use less electricity and therefore will shed some load. We don't have battery storage in here, so we can't do that. As put the EV stations, unless someone's hooked, we don't have backfeed to the net on the EV stations though. Eventually, we'll have solar panels on here, and we'll be able to backfeed into the grid if need be.
and the EV does have a limitation, right, on the load it can put, right? Like if everybody is charging at once, then I think everybody gets a little bit less, right? Or
I mean, it all depends. The reason I directed Sam to use these charge points, these things are really programmable. It's just not fed off of a circuit breaker where you shut the circuit breaker. You can program it to instead of giving it 6 kilowatts, you can give it 3 kilowatts. So or we just kill it all together so that there's no charging. Therefore, there's no draw on those EV chargers.
And Steve, just so you know, at the beginning of this project, when we were in the planning stage, I went around with Charlie to look to see if there was a possibility of doing battery storage, being able to store the electricity. And the size of what we would need there was like an 18-wheeler tractor trailer. And we just don't have the space there for that.
It's
My
negligible.
assumption
Like Helen said, it's negligible. Like these Tesla battery packs, they're negligible. I mean, in my term in Framingham zoning board, we had to approve this thing about the size of 5 40-yard containers in every battery. That could help them with brownout conditions. So it's quite a lot
Okay.
of storage.
My assumption is this will get smaller and smaller as more and more people want it, and then maybe, there's a possibility, but there was all sorts of issues between that and where we would put it, and it couldn't be in the building because of fire hazard. So there were a lot of issues, but we did look into it.
Helen, if you
Okay,
get one
well,
of those
sorry I didn't
electric
take my
school
hand down
buses,
sooner, but
I'm sorry?
if you get one of those electric school buses, that can feed a lot of juice back into the grid. That acts like a big gigantic battery.
They're just 300,000 a bus, but that's okay.
no. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
More than you
Actually,
want to hear.
Yes, I think so.
I'm sorry. Actually, Charlie responded to Sergio's email. He emailed us and Charlie responded to him. So
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, Josh, you want to keep going?
Yeah, so this is current state down in the garage right now. So basically working on our shallow levels, as you can see down in those lower photos. With the black is all the subslab drainage, and we're starting some overhead pipe as well. So bottom photo is building A, top photo is kind of the blend between building A and building B. Just the process of what we got to do. We got some frost down there, so we got a ground thaw down there. Unthawing the ground, it's in good shape now, but just what we have to do to dig during the winter. So just updated that process. Same thing, just underground process. This is the curbs down in building A. Just current status of those with the curbs done, all the vapor barrier on it. And then this is a view of the small gym. That's the exterior shear wall right there going up. They grouted today. They'll be topping off tomorrow. And then the other one is G-line, which separates multi-purpose and the large gym.
And again, you'll notice that we actually put some additional tarping inside this gym area as well to maintain the heat in those rooms for some additional quality as well.
And then just process of exterior framing up on level 3 along the west elevation, framing in all those lower roofs, and then just all the flyby framing for the roof itself. That is the east elevation complete. Actually went for a sign off last week with the building inspector. All looked good, so we'll just continue that process throughout the rest of the building. And then just roof access stair, another point of access going up into the building. So that's installed right now. We got some work to add into this stair, but once we do that work, we'll go after placement. That'll just help with overall access up into the roof level. Just makes it safe for all the workers when we start doing the roof. Targeting doing the roof late March, early April to drive towards that weather tight date on July 3rd.
One quick question, because it came up at Driscoll, I know after the fact. Is there a lock or some way to secure the access to the roof
Yeah, there's a doorway.
that locks?
Yes.
There's a specific room that provides access to this stair, Helen, so that's not part of another stair like at Driscoll. So it's very different, and
Okay.
intentionally so.
Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
No, that's very good. I mean, once again, the design team took all the notes and did the right thing.
Excellent. Thank you.
And then this is inside the historic building.
Wow.
Just the process. We got the new column up, installed, welded. So we started, that's the process of removing the temp shoring. That is all down at this point, and the crew actually started excavation today for the elevator pit. This is just a foundation wear wall for the new waterproofing. That's along the front side of the historic building if you're coming up Pierce Street. Right now, today, we dug out the rest of the bottom, basically on the left side of that wall. So the crews can get down there, finish prepping the wall, and start forming up. We have another section of wall already formed up on the back side of the historic building, but we'll be jumping over here as well.
And again, we install this wall so that we have a smooth surface to apply new waterproofing to, because originally you can't go to the rubble foundation and the the brick. So we install this kind of flat surface here with concrete so that we have the ability to then install the waterproofing.
How thick is that wall?
That's fairly thick on that side there.
Thick,
I-
it's 4 inches thick minimum, but because of the irregularity of that face, it's much thicker.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
4 inches at its smallest point, which is right here, and then because it goes in and out, we didn't want to have to jump in and out because that just creates more cracks. So
Yeah,
creating a flat
looks
surface-
thicker. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely thicker.
We're exceeding the minimum.
Yes.
So this is the mud mat on the backside at the addition. So first process, first pour. So we got this down. Crew started the footing where all those guys are on the lower photo. This is actually during placement. So now that's cured. They're out there forming the footing. And then we'll start with our first layer waterproofing going across this whole thing.
And as Josh mentioned, this was big for us to get before the storm, so it was easier to get all the snow out of this area as well. So this was a big pour for us. That's the
And
last
let's
slide.
wrap it up.
Yep. Any questions?
I don't see any.
All right, Andy, I'll hand it back to you.
I just, 1 second, Andy, I forgot to mention at the beginning, Bernard unfortunately had a conflict today and isn't able to come, but he wanted to make sure that people knew that he was sorry he couldn't make it. Andy.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. All right, thanks for the construction update. That was excellent. And we're going to move on to budget. I think Lynn is on.
Hello, everyone. So our budget remains the same at 211,915,958. We have expended $60,918,082 to date. Of that, we have a remaining $150,997,876 to spend. In terms of our contingency status, we have not spent any of our GMP contingency nor our owner's construction contingency. And to date, we have expended $592,952 of the owner's soft cost contingency. This leaves us with a remaining contingency balance of $12,738,510 dollars, and we are approximately 30% complete with construction. So our cash flow, it is a bigger delta than what we had originally projected in terms of actual expenditure, and a lot of this has to do with weather and the final billings of structural steel not being in at the time of reporting. So in terms of our relocation budget, we have expended $842,305 to date, and we have reported that amount to MSBA as well. And we have a forecasted expenditure to the end of the project of $654,873.
Are there any questions about the budget? Oh, look.
All right. Thank you, Lynn.
Actually, can I just say one thing? I'd like to commend the team and you're working on this project, because I am so, the amount of cooperation and teamwork between everybody is fantastic. You can see it in this presentation and you can see it in the team meetings. People are working together, the construction team, the owner's project manager, LAP, and the town DPW. It really has been a wonderful project to be involved with in that way. So anyway, it's not over, but I just want people to know that it's really going well.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ellen.
Helen.
Thank you, Ellen.
Do we have any design updates for this meeting?
Just a couple of quick ones. Margaret, you want to talk about FF&E?
Yeah, we're getting started supporting Karen and for in the FF&E procurement for the project. She's requested that we provide some, room square footages, quantities of stools and tables and that sort of thing. So we're pulling together data and working with her to get her started with WB Mason. And we're going to also meet with WB Mason to try to get their alignment with the sustainability goals, and particularly the like PFAS kind of things that can be avoided in some of the furniture selection, and also just to align the color choices that are given with the design before it goes to staff for any input. So that process has gotten started.
Margaret, maybe you can speak to our lead, where we are with lead certification.
We did a design submission and did very well. Kelsey, do you remember what number we were at the end of design? I'd have to look it up.
Where
You say we're at lead
We're
gold.
well on our way to gold, I believe. I mean, we're not at gold yet, but like with our anticipated credits, we might exceed gold.
Yeah, but we might have a chance at gold that would be predicated on the photovoltaics, right? I
No,
mean,
the
I'm sorry,
Platinum. Yeah.
which
I
is
think we're looking to achieve gold.
safely in gold.
Well, I'm hoping we're getting to platinum here.
Yeah,
Be a first in Brookline, and remember Arlington's high school is platinum.
that is really that would really be something to be proud of.
Yeah.
I don't know where the discussion about the PVs stands down.
I think it's just, it will happen right after the project.
So with respect to the PVs, we have a hold or in the project for it. We didn't elect to take that alternate at the time of award, right? It was thought we could probably maybe do it cheaper later. But we do continue to have that hold. We're optimistic that we'll have that money and be able to do photovoltaics at the end of the project, and that would, it's our understanding that would likely be separate from the project, but immediately after.
Similar to what we did at Driscoll.
Yeah, there you go.
From what I understand, Helen, and they're gonna package a few buildings together to put it out to bid to get some economy of scales on this thing. So
Sure.
I think that's what
Makes sense.
Alexandria is doing, instead of doing one-offs. We're not sure, even if we do purchase the solar panels, will qualify for any of the rebates that's expiring soon. Because it has to be in place for us by a certain time, and we're just not gonna be able to make that certain time. So we're
Right.
gonna try to bid out a bunch of buildings and put it out on the street, and hopefully get a good buy.
Thank you, Lab. Okay, moving on.
Hey, Helen, just one
Yes.
last design related
Yes,
topic.
thank you.
So as a group, we decided to take another look at the playground equipment. So, just working closely with the town, DPW department, and based on some things that we have learned from Driscoll, and there was a couple piece or maybe one piece of equipment that there were some injuries on, right? We're taking a second look at some of the equipment that we selected about 18 months ago with a subcommittee. So just reevaluating that based on, again, what we learned at Driscoll, and we may choose to change one piece of equipment. So that's a work in progress, but just something to share with this group.
Okay,
Great. Next topics, Helen, are just new business and next meeting and public comment.
okay. Why don't we take them in the opposite order? Is there any public comment?
I have a quick question.
Yes,
There was at some point in the fall, there was a scheduled walkthrough the building and
Right.
to look at the mock-up. And then it was a really rainy day and there was a talk about rescheduling. Obviously now everything is covered with snow, but it would be great if we can, when weather clears up a little bit, it would be great to perform that,
Great idea.
to schedule it. And the other
Excellent.
question I had is, with the mock-up, which I think is fabulous. People notice it and they comment on it, including children that I know of. They asked me, what is that little building that they built? Are you going to take it apart? So it's fascinating. Anyways, were there any lesson learned from doing it, and any changes that you identified that you needed to do for the design? That's my quick
Yeah.
question. Can be
Yeah.
obviously general, not detailed.
No, it's okay. We actually had a lot of lessons learned on it, quite frankly, and it made it very valuable for us. My name's Alex from Consigli, project manager. I just wanted to say that there were a bunch of details that we went through, and there were a bunch of design decisions that we gave specific options to make sure that things were the right choice. I'll give an example of a corner detail for the glass. We chose between two options there. We chose the brick pattern as well. So once the drawing showed a specific staggered pattern, but we ended up changing it to something different because we found out we liked that more, right? So there were a bunch of things like that. I would also like to note that we did building performance testing on this as well, which is a very unique thing for a mock-up to have, just to ensure that all of the details and products went together properly. We did pull testing, we did water testing, we did air testing on this thing. So it went through some extensive stuff to get it to where it is. So
We can even go on to say that we had a couple of failures, right? One in the operational
Yep.
window and one in the curtain wall, but failures, but then we corrected them, tested them again, and passed them, right? And those are, and in doing that on the mock-up, we don't have to do that on the
Right.
building. So
That's the purpose of it. Yeah.
a lot of lessons learned. And we
That's
threw
great.
about every test in the book at it. Pressure tests, pull tests, hose tests, just about everything. Smoke.
adhesions, yeah, everything. Yep.
Great. Thank you.
So with regards to Nuri's first request, I'm wondering if we should try for our April meeting. I wouldn't go for March because I'm still not sure we won't have snow in March. But the April meeting, maybe we could have a tour of the mock-up, but also of the building
Sure.
for the school building committee.
Sure.
So why don't we try and keep that in mind to schedule for our next meeting, and then we could meet at town hall.
We'll have to work that around. School vacation week is the week of the 20th. We would have
Right.
met on the 23rd, which we won't do. So we'll either want to go on the 16th or the 30th of April.
Maybe the 30th might work better. There'll be more done.
The weather will probably be better.
Yeah.
I won't be available on the 30th. I will be on the 16th.
Oh, all right. Well, then we could rethink.
Well, no, it depends on whether Bernard can do it and stuff like that. But yes,
Okay, well, why don't we check in with people? You can get some, do a doodle, whatever.
Yep.
And see when people can be there.
Okay.
Actually, there's a senior center event also on the 30th at 5. So maybe the 16th is a better day.
Yeah,
All
we,
right.
we could do a little tour before or after this meeting, right?
Right.
Sure. Great.
All right.
Is there, okay, so now we have to just schedule our meeting for the March, which were 1, 2, 3.
Be the 19th or the 26th.
Janet, do you have a preference?
let me pull up my calendar.
Okay.
Easier said than done. March. Either one.
I can do either one too, so.
26 might be better. The
Yeah,
18th is just 3 weeks away, right?
yeah, exactly.
True. That's true.
Okay,
Okay. We'll get an invitation out for that shortly, and
Mhm.
I'll make sure we get out a reminder a week ahead of time too, so.
and if you could get the minutes out ahead of time, maybe I could
Yes.
get that reminder, that would be.
Yes, a week ahead of time, we'll send out the reminder, the agenda, past meeting minutes, slides.
Excellent.
And see if we can actually remember, even if we attended the meetings we're doing the minutes of.
Well, one of the good things about the having the audio version of the minutes is that usually if we vote on anything, people will identify themselves, whether they're here, if they're voting. So I can generally get that, but there's always some exceptions to the rule.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All right, well, thank you, everybody.